Okay, so for this next video, we'll be talking about key signatures and accidentals for scales. So, you'll see in front of here, you will have a bunch of key signatures. And for each key signature, for example, this one, where there's only one sharp, which is fa sharp, fa, there will be a major key for it and a minor key for it. And for the next one, two sharps, there will also be a major and a minor, and so on and so forth until all 7 notes are sharp. The same thing goes with flat. There's a major and a minor for it. Okay, and so let's start with the major keys. So we all know that C major has no accidentals. It's just do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, si, do, right? But let's say if we go to G major, it's not just sol, la, si, do, re, mi, fa, sol, because we will have an accidental, which is sol, la, si, do, re, mi, and then sh, fa, so that would be a major key. So we have to remember that for C, we're going to start with the major keys. So for C major, there are no accidentals. And then moving forward, the next one that has accidental will be G major. There is a F sharp in here. G major does not have 2 accidentals, which is that's the case of D major. If you notice this, we jumped 5 keys on the keyboard. We go from here to, and then only then we had our first sharp. So then, if we continue with this trend, and we jump to the next 5 notes, which is to D, which is a +5 again, we should, according to this rule, have 2 sharps now. And that, in our case, is correct. So it's here G to D. Along the way, we went +5. Or we started with G, and we went to the 5th note above, to D. And then so, if we keep going to the same pattern, from D, A to here, which will have 3 sharps, and then +5 more, we should have E here, +5 to E, and then if we +5 again, we should end up with B, and then we go over here and +5 again. But however, we can't just go like that, because I have actually counted these incorrect. So this will be actually incorrect, however, because if we started with our G here, let's go down so it sounds better. So la, si, do, right? However, this is actually according to G major. This is correct. So then, if we go with D, it's not just mi, fa, sol, la. We need to count it in the correct key D major is in. Sh, fa, sol, la. We were able to do that with G because G did not have any sharps going from so to re. But D major has a sharp from re, la, there's a sh, fa in here. So that if we go from la to mi, we have to go count 5, which is what we did over here. Or we have to do it in according to the key signature. Same thing with E. Sh, fa, and sh, so are here because we do have a sh, fa here and a sh, so over here. So if we start with B and we apply the same logic, we should start with C. And then on the way, you'll see we encounter a sharp do and a sharp right, and also a sh, fa. So then our next one is actually F sharp. You may have noticed we're just counting a perfect fifths up, starting with do to so to right, from right to la to mi to si to sh, fa. This is called the rule of fifths. And if we start with the first major key, which has 0 accidental C, and if we count a perfect fifth up, For every perfect fifth you count up, there would be one additional accidental starting from C. So if you go with this rule, and if you add a perfect fifth to here, you will then know C sharp major is the major that has all 7 sharps in it. Okay, so we applied the perfect fifth rule from major keys. Now we're going to examine minor keys. For minor keys, we're not going to we should know that there are melodic minor and harmonic minor. For example, take A minor. This will be the melodic minor. And this is the harmonic minor. Which I will talk about later. But for now, we're going to ignore the accidentals or anything that changes in the 6th or 7 notes, or however, where as noticed in harmonic there is, and in melodic there's this, and going down is this. We're going to ignore those for now, and we're going to be like major, and we're going to think of them as major keys, where we only talk about them in the key signature methods. So we're going to first start off, we should know that A minor is a minor that if we don't talk about harmonic or melodic minor, there would be no accidentals. So then, for minor keys, going over sharps, we can also follow the rule of perfect fifths. For every new perfect fifth we add, starting from the original key, which has 0 sharps, which is A, you will get a new sharp or a new accidental for every key. So we start with A, add a perfect fifth, which is to E. So E minor will have 1 sharp, which is this sharp. If we don't care about the melodic or harmonic minor, it will sound like this. Or if you go for melodic minor, even though the notes going up here change, this F sharp never changes. The key signature for the minor keys usually never change, but there are some exceptions we'll see later. Next, we're going to still add a perfect fifth to keep going with our rule from E to B, and adding a perfect fifth again to F sharp, then adding a perfect fifth again to C sharp, then adding a perfect fifth again to G sharp, then adding a perfect fifth to D sharp, then adding a perfect fifth again to A sharp minor. This will be a hierarchy for minor key, which have sharps as accidentals. But as I said, keep in mind that we will not talk about harmonic or melodic minors for now first. So this is a trend. So for accidental or for scales that have sharp key signatures, starting with the positive ones, I'm going to call them positive, which is they have 0 accidentals. For every perfect fifth you add, starting from the major or minor key that has 0 accidentals, you will gain 1 additional accidentals. And the order of accidentals should be remembered as this. The first accidental you will encounter is F sharp. Then you go by the circle of fifths rule again. The second accidental you will encounter is Do, and then you keep adding perfect fifths. Until all 7 notes of the keyboard are sharp. You have Do sharp, Re sharp, Mi sharp, Fa sharp, So sharp, La sharp, and C sharp. All of them are over there. That is the order of key signatures, which you should remember. You shouldn't just add 2 random key signatures. You have to go by this specific order over here, or that is written out on the staff. Now we will be moving on to minor keys. Well, not minor keys, but scales with accidentals that are flat. So we know that for major, C major has 0 accidentals. It's just there are no accidentals. But however, we cannot follow the circle of fifths rule like we did above. Otherwise, if we do that, we go to here, we are going to get our major scale. But we need a flat C over here. So for this one, we'll follow a descending rule of fifths rule. We will count, of course, for the C we're starting here, but instead of counting up a perfect fifth like we did for our majors and minors that had a positive or sharp accidentals, for this one we're gonna start here and we're gonna count down. So if we start here and if we count down a perfect fifth here to here, this will be our first major key with our first accidental. Next, let's talk about minor keys. For minors, the same thing. We're going to disregard melodic and harmonic. Same thing as sharp ones. A has no accidentals. We're going to follow the same rule and we're going to count down by 2. To D. So from here, a perfect fifth down will be to right here. So we have re, mi, fa, sol, la, si, do, re. But then, however, remember when I said above that we never change any key signatures? Well, there are exceptions, and D minor is one of them. Let's talk about D minor melodic scale. We normally would have a B flat for D, because that's a key signature. But then if we go for melodic, you will notice that the B flat is not played. Because if we play with the B flat, this would just be a harmonic minor. So there are exceptions where for the melodic minors, when you're going up, your original flat would be omitted, but then going down, it will come back again. So to keep that in mind, we have to keep that in the heads. Next, we're gonna go to the next one for both. We're gonna count down a perfect fifth for F and for D. That will be D flat, and that will be G. And then we're just gonna keep counting down perfect fifths. C to flat mi, so to do. Keep counting down. Do to fa, flat mi to flat la. Keep counting down. Da to flat re, fa to flat si. And then keep counting down. Re to flat so. And then flat si to flat mi. And then flat so to C flat, and then from E flat to A flat. Going by this rule, and the same thing that said above, you will get, and you will calculate correctly all of the scales. Okay, so there are, besides for major scales, there are minor scales. And for minor scales, we normally just talk about 2 different ones. Instead of major, which just has there's just one major scale. For minors, there are 2 scales. There's a harmonic and there is a melodic. So, before we get into this, it's important to remember or know that for every scale we have, there are 8 notes for an octave of a scale. We should know that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So that is our first note, and that is our 8th note. The first note, we call it our tonic. Our second note, we call it our supertonic, which means above the tonic. And for our third note, we call it our median. And for our fourth note, we call it the subdominant. The fifth note, the dominant. The sixth note, the submediant, or midway between upper tonic and subdominant. The seventh note, the leading tone or subtonic. And the 8th note is a tonic again. The 8th note is a tonic because if we go from here and we call that our first tonic, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That would be the tonic again because the 8th note is the same as the first note for another octave of the scale going up. And going up even more. So, For major scales, we just leave it as it is. It's all good. But then, for minor scales, there are two types. There's a harmonic and a melodic. Both of them are different. For melodic scales, going up, we are going to raise the 6th note and the 7th note by 1 semitone. And then when we go down, we're gonna make it original to the. We're gonna keep it original to the key, or another way to say it is we're gonna lower it by 1 semitone from the semitone we have given it. So we're just gonna remove the semitone that we have given it earlier. Here's an example. C minor. C minor. Let me just clarify out. There are 3 flats for C minor: B flat, E flat, and A flat. So, if you don't talk about the melodic or harmonic minor, it will just sound like this. But then, we have to remember, for melodic, we are going to raise the 6th and 7th note by 1 semitone. Instead of this note, we raise it by a semitone, and this note by 1 semitone. So we're basically adding, we're basically just changing our A flat here and our B flat, as those are in our key signatures from over here, A flat and a B flat, and we're gonna raise it up by 1 semitone here to here. But then, however, when we're going down again, we're going to temporarily get rid of the new addition we made, and we're going to make it original to original key, which is this one, the one on the flat. A new one, and then we'll go back to original. And we're keeping in mind we're only doing this change for the 6th and 7th note of the scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, we raise it. 7, raise it. 8, or 1. And then 7, original 7, original 6. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then for our next type of scale, we will be talking about harmonic scales. So for next type of scale, we'll talk about the harmonic scale. Harmonic scale, we have to know that we raise the 7th note by 1. We raise the leading tone by 1 semitone. Let's talk about C minor again. We have B flat, E flat, and A flat. If we don't raise the 7th note, that's what we get. However, to get a harmonic scale, we raise the 7th note by a semitone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Our 7th raised from here, from our original note over here. We're raising it by a semitone to this note. And when we go down, we keep it as the raised note. So those are our harmonic scales. We'll keep that in mind as we move on. Moving on, you'll see that there are a couple of scales we need to write. So first, I'm just going to clarify what these means. This means C major, this means C melodic minor, and this means C harmonic minor. So first, we see that the clef we have to write this in is in treble clef, so we don't make any mistakes. And to make it simple, I'm going to write all my notes as whole tones, so it's easy to see. So first, we are going to see how many key signatures the C major or C minor have. Keeping in mind that this is major and this is minor. So for C major, as we explained before on this page, C major has 0 accidentals for major key. It does not have any key signatures. So we can just start off by just writing our scale. We have 4 start of C because we're starting that as that. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, si, do. That is our top point or our 8th note, and then we are going to continue back down. Okay, Because there are no key signatures, we can just leave it as it is. If there were any scales that had key signatures, we're gonna still start off by writing this step we just did, by writing all the notes we have here first. Now we're gonna talk about minor scales. Keep note that for C minor, there are 3 flats, because A minor is the key that has no accidentals for minor keys. But I'm just gonna quickly explain that C minor doesn't matter if it's harmonic or melodic, as those are just variants of minor. That C minor has 3 flats. Our first flat will be Si, Mi, La. We should write our key signature first before you do anything first. Okay, so we're gonna quickly just write the notes. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, si, do. That's our top point. Si, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do. For here as well. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, si, do. Top point. Si, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do. Alright. So you might be thinking that because we have flat mi, flat si, flat la, we're gonna have to add accidentals here. But we don't have to. The reason is because we have a key signature for a reason. This means that all the notes that we write that involves a mi, a si, or a la, they're going to be automatically flattened. So there is actually, behind this note, there's actually a hidden flat behind this note. There's a hidden flat here, hidden flat over here. And same thing going down. But then we have to remember, for our melodic scales, when we're going up, when we're going ascending, we raise the 6th and the 7th by 1 semitone up, and then when we come back down again, we lower it, so it go back to the original. So this is our first note, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. Because these 2 notes were originally just intended as flats, we're gonna raise it by semitone. So from flat we change it to natural. But then, however, we have to remember that when going down, because we wrote the natural here for natural C, this implies that for the rest of this bar, will end here. There will be all the C's with this that are on this note are all going to be natural. So this natural just technically carries on for the whole bar. We don't want that because we want our C and our La to come back down. So to do that, we add our flats back, and our flat, these 2 flats are coming from the key signatures. Next, we're going to talk about C harmonic minor. We're going to start off with seeing what we have to do for the harmonic minor. For the harmonic minor, we raise the 7th note or the leading tone by 1 semitone for the whole scale. Let's count our notes. First note, 2nd note, 3rd note, 4th note, 5th note, 6th note, and 7th note is this note. This note was originally designed to be a flat as per the key signature over here, and to raise a flat upper semitone we add a natural. This time we don't have to do anything to the note after this note because number 1, these 2 notes are in the same bar of the score, and number 2, for harmonic minor, it's going up and going down. The 7th note is raised, not only going up. So we leave it as it is, and that will be it for now.